Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the late shift here. It's the 10 p.m. game, the last and final game of this first round of the 2018 Women's NWAC Basketball Championships. Hello, everybody. Nathan Murphy and Mike Buchholz here, and we have a matchup between the 3 seed out of the North region, the Skagit Valley Cardinals, the visiting team in the red uniforms today, and the Lane Community College Titans, the 2nd seed out of the South. Mike, what do you see in the matchup?
Well, one of the things that I see starting with the Skagit Valley Cardinals is that Adiah Jones-Smith, who's missed the last 2 games of the year, is the leading scorer, and she was going to be a game-time decision. She had a sprained shoulder, and she is out warming up, and since you brought the starting lineups there, she is starting. But I think Skagit's going to be in tough tonight against a quality team, the Lane Titans, who are 22-6, coached by Greg Shelley. Both of these coaches have won it 4 times, but it's been a while for the Cards. The Cards won it in 88, 94, 96, and 98. Lane won it in 06, 07, 09, and in 09 they beat Skagit, and they also won it in 2013. The Titans are definitely a contender this year because they are the team that handed Umpqua their only loss.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the starting lineups here. You're watching the NWAC Basketball Championships on STSPN.com and the NWAC Sports Network.
The first day of school is kind of scary. You don't know your teachers yet or who your friends will be. But school is really important. It's how you learn things and grow.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're gonna do great, Mommy.
For you, for them, Clark College. Get started today at clark.edu.
More than a number, more than living paycheck to paycheck. You're a multitasking life engineer full of experience. That's why you belong here, where you'll find more one-on-one attention from faculty, with programs that can lead to in-demand jobs, and the support you need to get where you want to go, all at an affordable price. Get started now. Edmonds Community College, edcc.edu.
Welcome back to the Walt Price Fitness Center at Everett Community College. It is the final game of the opening round of 16 in the 2018 Women's NWAC Basketball Championships. We talked a little bit about these 2 teams, 2 storied programs, 2 very experienced head coaches. Greg Sheely in his 18th year with the Lane Titans. He has over 450 wins, and we look over at Steve Epperson in his 41st season. And if he comes back for a 42nd, Mike, he will cross the 900 win mark next year.
Already set that, they had a big party for him when he got his 600th win. I was happy to be invited to that. Here he is trying to look at, what'd you say, 900?
892 coming in today. It's a remarkable total. Steve is assisted by Deb Castle for Lane, the assistant coaches, Jeff Wingate, Susan Smith, Jack Graves, and Connor Debin. Let's take a look now at the starters. First for the visiting Skagit Valley Cardinals, the 3rd seed out of the North region. Nani Gardner from Anchorage, Alaska, and Katie Skipworth from Lebanon, Oregon will run the guard spots. Brooke Guffey is a sophomore guard who will play kind of a swing spot. Emily Pillman from Kamiak High School will play one of the forwards, and you mentioned Adiah Jones-Smith. It looks like she is going to start. There had been some question if she'd be able to play at all, and she's a key contributor from Tulalip Heritage High School.
She is. She's a good passer and rebounder from the post position.
Leading the team in scoring, and 14th in the NWAC in field goal percentage. top 50 in free throw percentage as well as rebounds and blocks. For the Lane Titans, the starting lineups, Amber Lease from Klamath Falls and Rachel Fielder from Rocky Mountain High School in Meridian. They will run the guard spots. They were up here to say hello to us at the halftime of the previous game. Megan Still from Hillsboro, Oregon, and Sarah Hall from Eugene, Oregon will run the two forwards, and Emma Jones in the middle from Camas. And that's the starting lineup for the Lane College Titans. As we get set to set this one up, Lane, only 2 losses in the conference season for them, one of them to Umpqua, but surprisingly the other one was not to Umpqua. They actually beat Umpqua on Umpqua's home floor back on the 28th of February.
And so the question then is, who was the other loss to?
To Zach Wild and Columbia Basin just before the new year.
Well, I had Columbia Basin here earlier, and they do a good job on the defensive end, and they have some quick, pesky guards out there that can create havoc. So I'm not surprised when you said Columbia Basin.
For Skagit Valley, a tough start to the year for them. They were 4-10, I believe, out of the gate, maybe even worse than that. But they've turned it around, an 8-4 conference record for the Cardinals. Good enough for the 3rd seed here out of the North Division. And a chance for them to avoid something. Steve Epperson, in 41 years, has never finished below 500. He and I were talking about that before the game. They'd have to win 2 here. They come in at 13-14 overall, rather. And if they can get past this very good Lane team, a huge challenge would loom tomorrow in the person of the Walla Walla Warriors.
And those would be, both of those victories would be huge upsets.
So their work cut out for the Skagit Valley Cardinals for sure. For Lane, they've got to be, if you're Lane, you're not thinking past this game, but if you're a fan, you're looking ahead to a potential matchup with Walla Walla tomorrow night, and that could be very entertaining for us.
And I get the opportunity to call that game tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, whether it be the Skagit Valley Cardinals or the Lane Titans. So looking forward to that.
And let's take a chance to look through the bracket here. In the morning session, Umpqua obviously won their game handily, and they'll face Columbia Basin tomorrow. It's a tall order for CBC.
Yes, but they do a good job. It's a, pardon the pun, tall order, because Umpqua is so tall, but there's an awful lot of speed and aggressiveness on the defensive part of Columbia Basin. And one of the things, as a taller player, you might be a little bit slower in those pesky little guards out there. They can create some havoc for you.
And of course, in the second quarterfinal tomorrow, you will have Lower Columbia facing off against Bellevue. That's the 1 seed out of the North region and the 2 seed, but maybe the best team and certainly the highest remaining team out of the West in Lower Columbia.
And, at this point, when you get to the semis, it doesn't really matter what seed you are. You've done a pretty good job, and you have to be a pretty good basketball team to get to the semis. So that looks to be a you call 'em game, you pick 'em game as well.
Everett won on their home floor in convincing fashion, and they will face Big Bend, who in the only upset so far tonight knocked out the 1 seed out of the West in Grace Harbor.
And Bend looked very tough down the stretch there, but of course Everett, the hometown favorite also, and on their home court, might have a little advantage there under the leadership of Chad Hobdy, the veteran coach.
And that brings us to this game. The winner will face Walla Walla, who won the previous game, and we're just about set to tip this one off. Lee Mullen and Brittany Lassiter-Burgoyne are your umpires, and Jacob Petz is your referee. He throws the ball in the air, and the jump is won by Lane. They're in the white shirts with the blue numbers and trim. Skagit Valley Cardinals in the red with the white and black piping. We're glad you're with us. Nathan Murphy, Mike Buckholtz as the ball goes up, and the first points of the game belong to Sarah Hall.
Good ball movement by Lane very quickly as they move it from side to side and find the open player down the middle in the key for the layup.
Skipworth handling the point duties, gives it off to Nani Gardner. And now driving in is Guffey. She puts it off the window and good. Brooke Guffey ties the game early.
Yeah, Brooke out of Anacortes with a strong left-handed drive down the lane.
Whistle and a foul. It's going to go against Skipworth. It's her first and the first team foul.
Guffey coached by veteran Ken Welk up at Anacortes High School. He's been there for, well, at least since last century as well.
I refereed at least one of Guffey's games while she was at Anacortes. I remember that A district final up in the beautiful old gym at Mount Vernon, as this is tipped out of bounds and it belongs to Lane with 23 to shoot.
Garner doing a good job of getting her hand in the passing lane, knocking it out of bounds.
You know, I got to say, you just look at the body language out of the gate. Skagit Valley looks like they came ready to play.
Yeah, they do, and they're looking pretty loose. Let's see how they handle the full court pressure that Lane's going to be applying right now.
Fielder threw it out of bounds. We had a chance to talk with Steve Epperson before the game, and he told us that breaking this Lane press was going to be one of the keys for them.
Handled it well there.
Inside it goes, tipped up and out of bounds, and it's going to belong to Lane.
Yeah, 2 players in the vicinity for the Cardinals, but neither one of them able to get a grip on the ball, and the Cardinals turn it over.
2 apiece, under just over a minute gone by here in the first period. Thanks for spending part of your Thursday evening with us. Nathan Murphy and Mike Buckholtz giving a shout to all the NWI BOA members watching tonight, Julie Mitchell and Toby Cook and everybody else. Thanks for spending your night with us. Up with the layup is Emma Jones, and she gives her club a 2-point lead.
Yeah, very quick drive to the left against that 3-2 zone being employed by Skagit Valley, and excellent drive by Jones.
At the other end for Skagit Valley, diving in as Joan Smith had her shot blocked, and it's taken the other way by Fielder.
She didn't get a chance to up fake and try to freeze the defender there.
Fielder gets it back, 12-foot jump shot misses off the front of the rim, and Joan Smith pulls down the rebound. She'll push it into front court herself. No numbers, though, and it's knocked away. Picked up by Sarah Hall, and back comes Lane. Fielder with it across the timeline. Lost the handle. It bounced up in the air, but it's handled by Hall, and now in the far corner for Still. Megan Still's three-pointer, no good off the heel, but an offensive rebound for Hall, and they will reset. Lease finds its way inside for Fielder, out of bounds off of Skagit Valley. 24 on the timer for the Titans.
Nice block by Guffey, but Skagit giving up a couple of extra possessions to Lane, and that's a recipe for disaster. You got to keep them off the boards.
Now it goes inside, and it's put up and in by Sarah Hall. Pillman did her best to try and effect that entry pass, but couldn't reach around far enough.
Yeah, running the flat 4 across and ended up in a high-low look. Excellent execution on the out-of-bounds play by the Titans.
Pillman's shot is up, bounces off the rim, no good, and a rebound taken down. And pushing ahead is Lane. This is Emma Jones. Inside, knocked away nicely by Emily Pillman, and Skagit will take over again.
Yeah, Skagit doing a good job that time of swarming the post player there, knocking it away and having a possession.
Katie Skipworth to her left. 3 on the way, rattles out from Garner, and the rebound is controlled by by Sarah Hall. Pushing it ahead now is Lease. Amber Lease lost the handle, picked it back up. Tried to give it to Fielder, but it comes to Skagit Valley. Nice work by Pillman to get it back to a teammate.
Both teams been a little sloppy handling the ball and executing their offense here. As I don't want to say jitters early on, but having some trouble.
Toe on the line for Joan Smith, and the 2-pointer won't go. Rebound taken by Lane. Pushing it ahead is Rachel Fielder. She gives it for Lease. And inside it goes. Fielder's layup is good.
And another good find down the middle as Rachel Fielder is strong inside against that 3-2 zone of Skagit.
Skipworth breaks the one-person press. Hands off for Nani Gardner. Timeout Skagit Valley. Just 4 minutes into the ball game. 6:09 left in the first quarter. Steve Epperson wants to talk it over, and we'll take a break. Lane 8, Skagit Valley 2 on the NWAC Sports Network and STSPN.com.
Y'all ready to play?
I'm Deborah Jackson. I work at STCU. During the windstorm of 2015, we were expecting that members would need any number of things. I was talking with a colleague. It popped into my head that why can't we do something to help offset that cost for our members and our community? So that day we came up with the Get It Fixed loan. Everyone was on board with it. It was done that day. Being part of this community and involved and invested as we are, When we see a need like that, we take the action. I'm Deborah Jackson, and STCU is here for good.
NWAC Championship Basketball is brought to you by Everett Community College. EVCC Trivia Time. Why do some of the region's best athletes choose Everett Community College every year? For starters, look at this gym. They get to use it. Register now for spring classes at everettcc.edu. Welcome back to the Walt Price Fitness Center, the home of the Everett Trojans. And right now it's the 8th and final game of the first round here in the Women's Championships in 2018. Skagit Valley trails Lane by 8-2 as we tick under 6 minutes to go, but a three-point field goal. Nani Gardner cuts the lead in half.
Gardner, perhaps the most consistent three-point shooter for the Cardinals, made him pay on that. I'm sure Coach Epperson was trying to get Skagit to go inside out. They didn't quite get the ball into the post, but Gardner had her feet set and hit a nice three.
Taylor Carrillo can't get the three to go at the other end, and Skagit goes to work. Here's Pillman, an 8-foot jump shot. Can't get it to go, short-armed it a little bit, and the rebound goes to Hall. Up ahead comes Lane. Still in the corner, tries to dump it in, and it's knocked out of bounds by Pillman. Lane basketball with 24 to shoot. Lease will trigger. In it comes, and it's tied up, taken away. Jones Smith with the steal, running the floor, putting it up off the glass, too strong. And the rebound belongs to Jones, and then she threw it away. That was Carrillo, pardon me.
Turnover to turnover, as again, both teams still having a tough time with their consistent ball handling. I had a little technical issue here with my microphone. So.
Just a little bit ragged here in the opening part of the first half. Three-pointer from Pillman is no good, and Lane will push ahead quickly. Carrillo, corner, three, too strong off the iron. Rebound bounced around, and it's pulled by Garner. Nani Garner gets it to Guffey, and Skagit's going to slow it down. You know, we talked to Katie Skipworth, who has the basketball right now, and she talked about not allowing Lane to dictate the pace, and I think Skagit's doing a pretty good job of that here in the early going.
Well, that's because both teams have been shooting poorly from the outside, so it's been kind of difficult to control tempo when you're not making any baskets.
Skipworth dumped it into Jones Smith, but her shot went out of bounds. Skagit Valley thinks it was blocked, and now we're going to have a discussion. Jacob Petz comes over to say something to Brittany Lassiter-Burgoyne.
And Jones Smith missed the last couple of games as she was injured her shoulder against Peninsula, and Coach Epperson now doing the I fought the law and the law won discussion with the official, and he has a seat back on the bench, and Lane has the basketball.
Certainly Brittany Lassiter-Burgoyne had the right look at that, and she seemed to tell Jacob Petz that it had hit off of Jones Smith's body on the way down. As up and in with it this time is Sarah Hall. She's got 4, and the lead is back out to 5.
And again, a couple of quick passes and a wide open layup, so Lane able to get open inside.
Up fake for Jones Smith, opens a little space. She drives in and lays it off the glass for her first points, and it's a 10-7 ball game. Now in the corner at the other end, Carrillo for 3. She's 0 for 3 from that distance, but a wide open offensive rebound for Sarah Hall, and she puts it back.
Sarah Hall with the layup and then the offensive putback, and nobody anywhere near her on the block out. Cardinals having a tough time blocking out in their 3-2 zone.
Nani Garner will try the contested 3, and she nails it. She's got 2 triples, and it's a 12-10 basketball game. Skagit Valley certainly came to play. Garner got a hand on it, tipped it up, but it came back to Lease. Up top, Emma Jones tried to get it inside, and a whistle. That's going to be a foul, and I think it's going to be on Jones Smith. And that is, in fact, the case, her first.
Jones Smith playing the high side on the post, tried to contest that against number 33, Sierra Carrier. And she's pretty strong down there on the block, was able to fend Jones Smith off and get the foul call.
Second team foul on Skagit Valley. 3:12 left in the first period. And Lease will inbound. It comes to Still. Megan Still dribbles to her right, gives it back to Lease, the inbounder. Still in the corner. Lease again, a little bit of two-man game here. Megan Still, watched by Guffey, almost taken away by Pillman. Now Guffey affects it, and she gets the steal in the end. Swarming defense there from Skagit Valley.
Yeah, a little better that time of covering up on the reversal for Skagit Valley.
Guffey finds Pillman on the block. Turnaround jump shot from a tough angle. Can't find the rim. And a foul on the rebound. It's going to be the third on Skagit Valley. Mika Van Ness is the guilty party.
Pillman never got herself squared up down on the block, kind of was facing sideways, tried to throw up that little hook. It did not look like a strong shot. So if you're going to be down on the block, you want to go up a little bit stronger than that.
And I stand corrected. Brooke Guffey is the person who committed that foul. It's her first. And Amber Lease has the basketball for Lane. Still drives in, lost the handle, taken away by Pillman. And another steal for Skagit Valley, who's not going to make this easy, that's for sure.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, they have come ready to play. It's been a little bit ragged here so far, but Skagit's hit a couple of threes, and they're able to stay close right now.
They cycle back up top for Skipworth. Pillman lost the handle, and managing to hang on to it was Hall, so a steal for her. And back comes Lease into the front court. Lease dives into the lane, bounces off of Van Ness, misses the shot, and the rebound caroms around for a while. It finally falls to Skipworth. Nice work by Pillman to direct it to a teammate. Skipworth into the front court. Left kind of alone, drives into the lane and earns a pair of free throws. Katie Skipworth out of Lebanon, Oregon will attempt the first free throws of the game.
Yeah, the 6'2" Sarah Hall had pretty good position there on that drive to the basket by Skipworth, and I think she lost her patience, should have just kept her hands up and went for that chop on the ball, and I think that's what got her the foul call.
First free throw is good, and it's a 1-point basketball game. It's checking in for Lane. Megan Briggs.
You might know a little better than that, so our officials are looking for that extra little chop down on the shot. So.
Absolutely, and you can learn something from what the official shows at the table. So Jacob Petz didn't show a block, so he's not saying it's illegal contact with the body. He showed the hit with the arm, the illegal use of the hands. And so he's saying with that the foul was up high rather than with the body. Out of bounds, Skagit will get it back.
Full court pressure by Lane, and they throw it, Skagit throws it right to the open player.
The inbounds pass was picked off by Still, but she can't score. And pulling down the rebound was Skipworth. So crisis averted momentarily there for Skagit Valley, but you know that press is going to continue to cause problems. Diving into the lane is Hogan, can't get it to go.
And Still was the open player there is what I was getting at. They just threw it right to her.
Absolutely. Front court now, here is Megan Still. 3-ball on the way, no good, right. But rebound offensively by Carrillo. She can't get it to go, and a foul I think is going to go on Briggs. It will be Skagit Valley ball with 1:06 left in the period.
Pillman starting to assert herself on the defensive boards for the Cardinals, and here comes the Titan press once again.
This time Hogan will get it inbounds, and she does so to Skipworth. They call her Skippy. Katie Skipworth from from Lebanon, Oregon. Just a freshman running the point guard for Steve Efferson's club this year, and she has the basketball. Watched by Still. Into the far corner. Now it comes up top for Hogan. That's going to be kicked, and it'll be a reset to 15 of the shot clock.
Seattle Sounder play there, get a new 30.
Just 15 in college. We're set to the halfway mark. 46.1 to go.
Oh, that's good to know.
There you go. 31.1 the difference. Shot clock and game clock now. In it comes. Pillman turns around. 5-footer, no good. Rebound pulled down by Fielder. About a 12-second difference. Throwing it ahead for Still. She dives underneath. Up off the glass and good for Megan Still. Her first points.
Excellent run out by Still as she got open on the left wing and attacked the rim very, very quickly.
14-12 the score. Lane with the lead. About a 4-second difference now between the timer and the period. Kai Charlie, Scammon Bay, Alaska native. Now this side. Skipworth tries to get it inside for Pillman, who recovers into the corner. And now it's knocked out of bounds with 6 to shoot. 9.5 left in the period. Sorry, Mike.
Well, I was going to say, you want to stay out of the corner. Those are dangerous areas. And, had an opportunity on the post-up and just could not get the possession down low.
Mary Hogan tries to get it into Pillman and does so. Turnaround from the block. Front iron, no good. Rebound in about 5 seconds for Lane. Here comes Amber Lease. Got a full head of steam to the basket, no good, and the rebound is going to be too late. And that will be the end of the first period. So exciting and end-to-end, if a little bit ragged through the first 10 minutes. And after 10, it's Lane 14 and Skagit Valley 12. You're watching the 2018 NWAC Basketball Championships on STSPN.com and the NWAC Sports Network.
Life is about moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings.
Do you have that real look in your eye? That when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quade?
See ya!
Right at it, right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
Welcome back. Walt Price Fitness Center here in Everett. And while you're watching tonight, make sure and check out the NWAC on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for all the latest NWAC news. And visit nwacsports.org for the most recent schedules, scores, stats, and more. And here's a stat for you. An interesting piece of the matchup as we start the second quarter here. Lane shoots the three at 32.5%, good for 7th in the NWAC. Skagit Valley defends it dead last. Key point here so far is we have a foul, and it's going to be Skagit ball underneath. And it looks like the foul is going to go on Rachel Fielder. It's her first and the first of the period, Mike Buckholz. But so far, Lane hasn't really managed to make a point of the three-point shooting.
Well, they haven't, but they've also got some good looks inside against that 3-2 zone. As Skagit, though, seemed to make some adjustments on their interior defense after that timeout. Well, and there it goes right back wide open inside.
Jones Smith, the block from behind, and the rebound's pulled down by Pillman. Nice defensive play by the freshman.
Well, no, let's call it a recovery as opposed to the ultimate defensive play.
There you go.
Wide open on the inside there.
Freshman from Marysville, played at Tulalip Heritage High School, graduated there. 15.5 points a game. And now she has the ball, spins in the lane, up off the window, and she gets the roll. She's got 4, and it's a tied game with 9 left in the second.
And Jones not really showing any ill effects. Looked like Skagit got away with the foul there as Lease drove into traffic.
Kai Charlie takes that one away, and Skagit has the chance to take their first lead of the basketball game now. Driving in is Skipworth. Off the window, gets the roll, and it's 16-14 now.
And again, wide open inside.
Back the other way, Steve Epperson will not be happy with that. Rachel Fielder ties it back up at 16. End-to-end action right now, Mike. This is fun.
And Amber Lease, she keeps her eyes up. She sees the court very well, and if you get open for the Titans, she will get you the ball.
Kicked ball again. It's going to belong to Skagit with 21 on the timer. Carrier comes back in for Lane, as does Emma Jones.
Skipworth having a seat for Skagit. She will play the majority of the game usually. Really kind of their only true point guard.
Meanwhile, Nani Garner's going to take it from the free throw line, bounces off the heel. Jones Smith fighting for the rebound and knocks down Amber Lease, knocks her out of bounds, and it's going to be Lane basketball on the end line, and that, I believe, is the second foul on Jones Smith.
And that was just bad luck, kind of making a hustle play down underneath and some body contact. She's going to have a seat right there. And
Guffey comes back in, and so as well does Mika Van S.
Skagit staying with that 3-2 zone look.
It's worked for him for the last few minutes. Let's see if Lane has a chance. They haven't done a great job of solving it in the front court. They've been much more effective in transition as they throw this one away, and it goes right back to the Cardinals.
And had Emma Jones wide open on the left block, instead tried to throw it into the double team and turn the ball over. So the looks are there. You just have to make the find.
So if you're Skagit Valley, you've got your leading scorer, your leading field goal percentage person, your leading rebounder on the bench with 2 fouls here in the second quarter. You got to survive this stretch and keep it close. And now we have a whistle and another foul on Skagit Valley. This one's going to go on Pillman, trying to fight for that rebound, her first.
The Cardinals have been playing the last couple of games without her with relatively limited success, being tied for first and then dropping down to the third seed. So they're going to need Jones to come in and be able to play with some foul trouble. 2
losses in their last 3 and a 3-pointer by Carrillo. That's the first triple of the game for Lane, and it gives them a 19-16 lead as we play with 7.5 left in the second period.
And we'll see how long Coach Epperson wants to go here. Obviously, it's going to depend on the flow of the game as to whether he puts Jones back in.
Guffey tried to get it into Pillman, and it bounced to Van Ness. Now a 3-point chance for Garner. Off the heel, no good. Guffey after the rebound, out of bounds, and it belongs to Skagit. Nice hustle play there by Brooke Guffey.
And one player for Skagit, Garner, is a player who can hit the open 3. Nice execution on an out-of-bounds play there.
Emily Pillman wide open down the lane, and she gets the layup, and it's 19-18. We've got a tight one going here in the second quarter, and another turnover. Skagit with a chance to take a lead.
Van Ness with the steal snuck around in front of the post as the Titans tried to get it inside. Excellent interior defense by the Cardinals.
Garner threw it away, but it came back to Guffey. Fortunate bounce there for Skagit, and then Guffey threw it away. Picked off by Carrier. Ahead come the Titans, pulling it back out. Amber Lease didn't have numbers. Now Carrillo for 3, rattles it home.
And that's a nice play by Lease as another guard might have went ahead and tried to force the issue and drive into the triple team. Instead, circled back out and found their teammate who's had the hot hand here, and another 3 on the board for the Titans.
And you see there the difference the triple can make for Lane when they have it going. The lead is up to 4. And now they come back the other way. Another try from Carrillo. This one rims out, and the rebound belongs to Charlie.
And Lease know that she's hit a couple and went and searched for her, found her open on the wing again. I like the way Lease plays basketball.
Top of the circle, Nani Gardner with the basketball. Running the point while Skipworth is on the bench. She's waiting to check in now. Pillman at the elbow. Underneath for Van Ness with 8 to shoot. Corner, Garner 3. Misses everything. Rebound taken and pushed ahead. And another 3-point attempt from Carrillo. She hit 2 in a row. Now she's missed a couple in a row. Back the other way they come. Garner with the basketball. Circles around. Guffey between the circles, dribbling slowly to her right and hands for Van Ness. Free throw line, Pillman. Jump shot, no good. And no red shirts in the vicinity. Back the other way come the Titans. On the near side, it's Jones. Has some space to drive, throws it up from 6 feet. The runner's no good. A little bit of contact there as holding her spot was Mika Van Ness. As we approach the halfway mark of the second period. Near side corner, Pillman will try the long 2-point jumper, misses off the heel. Not tall enough to get the rebound is Van Ness, and back comes Lane. Far side, it's Amber Lease, and another 3-point attempt. Rimming out again is Carrillo.
Well, with 3 misses now for Carrillo, I think it's time for her to maybe go ahead and spot up, but take a look inside as in transition, Lane has had some open players inside, but they've gotten away from that the last several trips down.
Lane with the 4-point lead here now as Garner dribbles, pulls up for 3. Splash! Nani Garner has 3 triples and 9 points, and it's a 1-point basketball game. We talked about how the triples worked for Lane, but look at what it's done for Skagit Valley as they pull back within a point. Near side, it's Jones, tries to get it inside. No good as Carrier off the window, and a held ball on the rebound. It is going to belong to Lane, but that will take us to the media timeout. So with 4:12 left to go, it's a 1-point basketball game. Lane 22, Skagit 21 on the NWAC Sports Network and STSPN.com.
Historic. Unique. Exciting. As challenges continue to test the mettle of Americans, your community has to depend on willing citizens just like you to answer the call and respond to local disasters and other times of crisis. You may be surprised to find out who we are and what we do. In fact,
NWAC Championship Basketball on STSPN.com and the NWAC Sports Network is brought to you by the Jet City Roller Girls. Jet City Roller Derby brings the sport of roller derby to Snohomish County. Tickets for Jet City's 11th season are now available with a doubleheader bounce at Edmonds Community College, featuring a family-friendly environment and a beer garden. Find a skater handing out flyers to receive a discount off entry to the next bout. Just over 4 minutes remaining here until halftime, and Skagit Valley sticking around, making a game of it. They trail by a point as just back into the game, Katie Skipworth secures the loose ball, brings it into the front court, hands it for Hogan. Mary Hogan on the near side wing gives it for Guffey. And now free throw line, it's Pyland. Katie Pyland tries to dribble to her left, gets it out for Skipworth. Skipworth, nowhere to go, almost threw it away. Good hustle play by Hogan, and we have a foul, and it's going to be Skagit Valley ball underneath.
And Coach Shealy not going to be happy with that, as the shot clock was down to 5 seconds, up pleading his case. Skagit mishandling the ball and getting bailed out there with the foul call.
Instead, it's a new timer. Guffey will trigger it in, and she gets it to Pyland. Katie Pyland from Monroe. This is Hogan. Back for Pyland. Near side elbow. Gets it for Guffey on the left wing. Tries to drive around Jones. Gives it off. Turnaround jumper for Van Ness. Won't go. And the rebound pulled down by Briggs. Hands it for Fielder, who brings it across the timeline. And Lane will set it up in the front court. Skagit Valley still in that 3-2. Top of the circle, Jones. Near side corner now. It's Megan Still. Dribbles to her right. Watched there by Skipworth. Gets it back now. Still for three. Near side rim, no good. Rebound is taken down by Hogan. And she almost throws it away. She does throw it away. Taken away. Fielder has it. Gets it across. And an easy layup won't go down, and it's out of bounds. Who is it? Belongs to Lane. Carrillo couldn't put in the bunny, but they get the basketball.
Had the ball on the block, and Lane has been missing Fielder down on the block. She's been posting up strong, calling for the ball. They've been unable to, or unwilling to get her the ball down there.
Megan Briggs and Emma Jones check out for Lane. Back into the ball game. 3 on the way, and good for Carrillo. So she's got 9 to match Garner. They lead all scorers with 9 apiece.
Yeah, missed the layup too close, and then steps out to 23 and busts it.
That's how it goes sometimes, isn't it? Guffey with the basketball. Watched closely by Lease. And another turnover. Lane has it. Pushing ahead is Fielder. 3 on 2. Near side for Lease. Thinks about the 3. Dribbles in instead. And now throws it into the corner and out of bounds. So matching turnovers on both ends. And you can see there that head coach Greg Shealy wants his team to play maybe a little bit more under control.
And we haven't really seen Amber Lease. She's shot inside. Haven't really seen her shoot from outside. She certainly had that shot available, but she's been unselfish with the ball so far. Maybe a little bit too much so.
Skipworth drives toward the free throw line, then kicks it out for Guffey. Top of the circle, it's Hogan. Guffey drives to her left, puts it off the glass, short-armed it a little bit. Off the side of the rim, and back the other way comes Lease. Amber Lease gives for Carrillo. Up fake, and she'll take another 3. No good. Rebound and a foul. And headed to the free throw line is Rachel Fielder.
Fielder continues to work hard, both at the defensive end, defending the post down for Skagit Valley, and then hustling down the floor to corral that rebound. Would have liked to see the shot off the glass. Instead, it rolled off of the rim.
Foul belongs to Pyland. It's her first. And the first free throw is on the way and good for Rachel Fielder. She has 5. Megan still has a seat. Sarah Hall replaces her. Sheldon High School in Eugene. Fielder's second free throw is up and good. And it's the largest lead of the game, tied for the largest lead of the game since it was 8-2. Lane 27, Skagit 21, less than 2 minutes in the second period. Skipworth brings it ahead.
Yeah, not really a press as such, just a little bit of full court pressure. It hasn't really bothered Skagit so far, so kind of waiting for Lane to try to do something to change the tempo of this game to go full court pressure.
And another turnover. Pillman tried to get it inside to Van Ness and threw it away. Taking it the other way is Fielder. Spinning into the lane, she walked with it. Yes, she did.
Well, Fielder read that pass, did an outstanding job, sort of did the little decoy, pretended like she was going to close out and faded back into the passing lane, then comes down to the other end and got caught on the whirling dervish play there with the travel.
Skipworth across the timeline, watched by Lease.
That's a good matchup, Skipworth and Leash.
Pillman double teamed in the post, tried to get it around to Van Ness, but it was too low. And pushing ahead back the other way is Carrillo. Pulls up at the free throw line, gives it for Jones. Now top of the circle, Carrillo again misfires. Rebound, Fielder puts it up, can't get it. Another offensive rebound, this time it falls to Lease. Fielder at the free throw line. Far corner, Carrillo, another three on the way, heel and out. And another offensive rebound, Fielder. Inside for Hall, foul and one.
Coach Epperson not happy with the Cardinals' lack of blocking out, and Rachel Fielder getting possession after possession. Coach Epperson, I believe, wanting a little contact on that, but it just looked to me like Fielder did some hard work, got good position, and got the rebounds.
Megan Still replaces Carrillo, who's missed a number of three-point attempts in the last little bit. For Skagit, it looks like Guffey's going to take a seat, and Kai Charlie comes back into the lineup. 44.5 seconds left here in the period. Free throw is no good. And another offensive rebound for Lane. This time it's Megan Still. Still, she'll try the three in the far side corner, and she got it. And the lead extends all the way to 11 now as we come down under 30 seconds in the second period.
Yeah, Lane earning a lot of these points by the offensive rebounds, and those are just the bane of giving up offensive rebounds.
Skipworth dives into the lane, and Fielder blocks her shot clean, and it comes back for Garner. Between the circles, it's Charlie. Kai Charlie, crossover dribble, gets it to Skipworth, 5 to shoot. Skipworth dives in, and it's blocked again out of bounds. 6.1 in the period, 3 on the timer.
Yeah, nice job on the defense being patient, waiting for the shorter player to release the ball, and then taller players reaching out, blocking that ball away. Just 3 seconds on the shot clock left here.
Briggs replaces Fielder now. 3 on the timer. Skipworth will throw it in. Had Garner up top. Instead, it comes for Van Ness. Turnaround jumper in the lane, no good. Rebound comes to Pillman, who just threw it in. Tosses it up, Van Ness, and that's the end of the period. And so we've come to the halftime break, and Mike, a little bit of a self-destructive stretch there, especially on the defensive glass for Skagit Valley.
Well, and Lane had an awful lot to do with that, as Lane finally got the tempo that they wanted and were able to pound the boards and extend that lead. It was somewhat gradual, but definitely controlled the tempo the last 3 or 4 minutes of that second quarter.
I believe it was 22-21 at one point, and now a 10-0 run to close out the first half for the Lane Titans. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back to break down the action from earlier in the day and talk about what we're looking ahead to tomorrow. You're watching the NWAC Women's Basketball Championships on the NWAC Sports Network and STSPN.com.
I'm an STCU member. The windstorm of 2015. Who doesn't remember that? They had no power, were the heaters, the horse drop was a 600-pound block of ice. STCU stepped up. I went straight down. I got the loan I needed. If it hadn't been for STCU, the ability to provide everything I needed, where would I have been? I'm Danny Horton, and STCU is here for good.
WWCC is affordable. Find your way. Attend part-time. Direct transfer. Join the fun at WWCC.
Training is definitely making myself better, but I know that it's going to end up making my teammates better.
You have to know your teammate and know what they need.
The cohesion on the field and off the field is what makes everyone strong.
Being on a team, you know it's not just you out there.
I would do anything for the player next to me, behind me, in front of me.
Practicing day in and day out, trying to be the best me so they can be the best them. It's like a sisterhood that you have with those girls.
It's just really empowering. They're all doing crazy things. And you want to be like them and you want to push yourself like them.
Motivates me to work harder, to get faster, quicker.
Pushing each other so hard, all for the same goal. And then when you accomplish it, that's the best feeling in the world.
Once you tap into that, I think you're unstoppable.
Medical specialists in the Guard are skilled in CPR, field triage, and emergency life support. Medics stabilize and evac the wounded during combat, come to the aid of civilians in a disaster, and provide day-to-day outpatient care. Medical specialists are saving lives on and off the battlefield.
Yo, ready to play?
The first day of school is kind of scary. You don't know your teachers yet or who your friends will be. But school is really important. It's how you learn things and grow.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're gonna do great, Mommy.
For you, for them, Clark College. Get started today at clark.edu.
My name is John Archuleta, and I'm a loan service bankruptcy officer with STCU. I help members that are struggling with their financial obligations. A lot of times people feel as if they're not good enough. Their finances are telling them that they should have known better. Our goal really is the financial health and well-being of the member. We are our members. Our members are us. We don't have investors here. We're not protecting the investor's bottom line. No matter what's going on, we're dealing with people's lives. I'm John Archuleta, and STCU is here for good.
Red Lion Hotels Corporation is built to thrive. With innovative programming and in-the-know staff, our hotel brands offer guests great stays and a chance to immerse in local culture. Red Lion Hotels and Red Lion Inn & Suites are better than ever. For travelers who want to get lost and discover adventure, we open the door to the best local experiences. We have reinvented the loyalty program. Introducing Hello Rewards, the first recognition-based loyalty program that encourages members to go further, fly higher, travel better, with tailor-made rewards. And we're not stopping yet. Presenting Hotel RL, our newest hotel brand. Inspired by the natural beauty of the Pacific Northwest, an uplifting, relaxed atmosphere, a staff that loves what they do. For adventurers at heart, Hotel RL will inspire an amazing journey. Our future has never been brighter. 3 strong brands, an expanding portfolio, industry-leading innovation with turnkey solutions, simple fee structures, areas of protection, continued support from day one. We make partnerships easy. Reach a new breed of traveler with RLHC.
The NWAC Basketball Championships on STSPN.com and the NWAC Sports Network are brought to you by the Washington National Guard. We are neighbors helping neighbors through a tradition of service with more than 6,000 citizen soldiers which comprise our ranks throughout Washington State. Guardsmen faithfully safeguard lives and property at home and abroad, and National Guard soldiers and readiness centers are an integral part of Washington State's communities and will continue to be for generations to come. To learn more about the Washington National Guard, visit nationalguard.com or call 1-800-GO-GUARD. Walt Prite Fitness Center here. The 8th and final game of the first day of this 2018 championships. Tomorrow, Mike Buckholtz will see the round of 8 games, the quarterfinals on the women's side. And then we move on to the men's championship starting bright and early on Saturday morning, 8 a.m. And we'll do this whole thing over again with the 8 round of 16 games on Saturday and the quarterfinals on Sunday.
We will, but on my own personal schedule, I don't have the 8 and 10 a.m. and the 8 and 10 p.m. games for the men. I have Saturday off, so I will be back on Sunday.
My schedule was such in the timing of when I knew where I could be that this is the only pair of games I'll have during this tournament, but it's been great to have a chance to be here with you, Mike and Todd, and joining everybody else on a Thursday night. Thanks for spending part of it with us at the 2018 NWAC Basketball Championships. So, Mike, you take a look at the winners from today, and obviously coming into the tournament, you had Umpqua circled and you had Walla Walla circled, but of the remaining winners, give me somebody who surprised you with their performance tonight.
Columbia Basin, just simply because they did such a great job of ball pressure and help side defense. They were very, very quick. They got quick guards and swarm to the ball. Their help and recovery was outstanding.
They've certainly got their work cut out for them against the Umpqua Riverhawks, who come in 27-1 or something like that. Just the one loss on the year to these Lane Titans, but absolutely flying and coming in looking for a championship. They played just outstanding basketball.
Yeah, 29-1
there
now.
You go.
So.
Skagit Valley will have the ball to start period number 3, and we're back underway. They trail by 11 after that run, that 10-0 run to end the second period. And this one's knocked away by Still, but it'll stay with Skagit Valley with 21 to shoot. Mike, what do the Cardinals need to do to get themselves back into this basketball?
Well, then one thing they need to do is keep Adia Jones-Smith out on the floor, as that run corresponded with her third foul as she had to go sit out.
I think she just has 2. That's
two,
what they
the
have
second
on the board.
foul, yeah, okay.
That would be a lot worse for Skagit Valley for sure if they had 3 on her. We have a whistle. That might be her third. There it is.
I wish I had that sort of premonition when I was buying a lottery ticket. For
absolute disaster for Skagit Valley. Just 27 seconds into the third period, and the third foul on Jones-Smith.
Tangling up, down, underneath with Rachel Fielder, who's a very physical post player for the Lane Titans. And so she's going to have to play. some significant minutes playing with some foul trouble here. So that being said, the Cardinals are going to have to do a better job of rebounding and certainly making some shots down at the other end as well.
Inside for Hall, a whistle, and that one's going to go. Sarah Hall has 10 points, and she's going to go to the free throw line looking for one more.
And Sarah Hall has been one of those players who has quietly put together a very solid game as well. She has several steals, gained some offensive possessions, and made a nice play right there.
The foul was on Pillman, and Hall's free throw is good. So the lead goes out to 14 now. Lane has 35 points to Skagit's 21, and the Cardinals need to stem this bleeding here if they want to have a chance to stay in the game. And a turnover. Pillman's pass was too high for Joan Smith, and back come Lane. Lease with the ball. Into the corner for Still. She'll try the three, misses everything, and Pillman pulls down the rebound.
And it looked like Lane was going to go to a little bit of a half-court trap here, double-teaming the ball, maybe again trying to pick the tempo up here a little bit in the second half.
Guffey loses the handle on the way in, and a technical foul now on Steve Epperson. So that's going to be after the turnover, I think. We'll see if they rule possession had been picked up already. But the technical foul belongs to Skagit Valley head coach Steve Epperson, who has reason to be frustrated for sure. And it looks like Fielder is going to take the technical free throws now.
And I'm not quite sure what Coach Epperson saw there. There was maybe he wanted a grabbing foul on the drive. It looked to me like it may have been relatively clean, but
it sure didn't look like much from up here. But obviously, we don't have the same look as the officials have, and we don't have the same look that Coach Epperson has. So, and they are going to give the basketball to Lane underneath. So it was immediately after the turnover. 1 for 2 was Fielder. So a 15-point lead, and it's going to be Lane basketball. 8:42 to go here in the third period.
Well, the other part of that is the psychological aspect of you want your team to know that you are still fighting for them, and you want them to come out and fight and just not give up those easy shots and take care of the basketball. The ball is incredibly valuable, obviously, and you just don't want to give it away carelessly.
Joan Smith claimed the rebound, and Skagit Valley looking to set up. Guffey gives it off for Skipworth. Her three from the corner is no good. Joan Smith was fouled looking for the rebound, and it's going to be Skagit basketball underneath.
Joan Smith actually got away with the push-off there as she had two hands on the back of Sarah Hall, pushed off to go get that rebound and made the call the other way, which sometimes happens after a technical foul. They start looking a little bit closer at things. They missed the first one to come up with the second.
But Lane steals the inbounds pass, and here comes Lease rushing ahead, and a whistle. I think the foul's going to go on Nani Garner. And that is indeed the call.
Lane just playing a little bit faster coming out here, it looks like, with a little bit more enthusiasm, as Skagit was ready to go from the beginning, but as this lead has crept away from them now, Skagit looking like the wind has gone out of their sails here a little bit.
It looks like their energy certainly has flagged a little bit as Lee's first free throw is good, and coming back into the lineup is Taylor Carrillo. It's worth noting, by the way, for as active as she's been, that's Amber Lee's first point of the basketball game.
She hasn't really been looking to shoot. She's totally been a distributor, passed up a couple of shots, and
Emily Pillman stepped in early, or maybe Joan Smith. It's going to be an extra free throw for Fielder on the lane violation.
Yeah, they keep going back and forth with that rule, whether the ball has to leave the shooter's hand or hit the rim, and anticipate it, and Lane capitalizes on that, gets another point.
38-21, largest lead of the game for Lane Titans at 17. And now Guffey tries to get it inside to Pillman, and out of bounds was Taylor Carrillo.
Too long of a pass on the diagonal there, had the player open, but just a 30-foot pass. You need to cut your passing lanes down the distance, 18 to 20 feet usually, especially on a diagonal.
Guffey will throw it in from the corner. Gets it in to Nani Garner. And Guffey's pass was knocked away, and pushing ahead is Amber Lease dives in and a whistle. Garner's going to pick up the foul. And then she picks up Lease off the deck. It's Garner's second.
And Skagit has come out. They're not making any pass fakes, and Lane is doing a great job of just simply reading the eyes of the passer and getting their hands up into the pass lanes, getting the deflections, and then they're off to the races at the other end.
We talked about body language early in the game. The body language of the Skagit Valley Cardinals is really low right now, it seems to me.
You can see it, every single player out there with their hands on their hips. Now with one going down, the hands on the knees, but you can tell just a little bit of that self-disgust. Hey, this is not going our way. And
now, I mentioned it in the previous game, and I'm going to bring it up here again just because I think it's relevant. I made a comment to Keith Neely, who I was calling the semifinal between Skagit and Walla Walla with last year. In much a similar situation, they were down by 20 and more points. I think 26 was the biggest deficit. And Keith and I talked about the body language as Nani Garner splashes her fourth three-point goal of the game. She's got 12 points.
Well, you need a couple of things that are going to get you excited, and right there, that Matador defense, Lane doesn't capitalize, but nobody got anywhere close to Emma Jones as she went from half court all the way to the basket. Missed the layup. She probably couldn't believe that. She look at her body language. I was just like, I can't believe that I missed that. It was so wide open, but you just don't expect that to happen.
Whistle and a foul. It's going to go, I think, on Megan Still.
And just a little touch foul, and maybe those are the kinds of things that Coach Epperson was asking the officials to call a little bit earlier, and they teed him up for it, and now he's getting some of the calls. So
comes into Skipworth. Seems like the clock has moved very slowly. Only 3 minutes gone by here in the third period as Garner's three is no good long, and the rebound's pulled down by Carrier.
And that's a big rebound by Carrier. I tell you what, Skagit hits that, and maybe the energy picks up there again.
It only takes a moment or two like that to let a team feel like they're back in something. The lead's 16 right now. Still has the ball. Near side corner, Carrillo's three is no good, and a whistle. It's going to be 3 free throws for Taylor Carrillo.
A question I would have in my mind although I was looking at the ball a little bit with the angle as to whether that was on the shot or not.
I honestly didn't see. I was following the flight of the ball, but that's the fourth foul on Jones Smith. And whether it's on the shot or the rebounding action, you have 3 fouls early in the third period. You just have to be more careful.
Yeah, that's a silly foul. I mean, you have that concept that some coaches like to talk about don't go out. You pressure the jump shooter, but you don't want to foul the jump shooter, and there's another one.
And I think Steve Epperson just got thrown out of the basketball game. No?
It looked to me like he
he was asking for timeout. Okay.
Well, we saw the T sign there.
Jacob Petz pointed at the bench, and I thought he had given the T first. But no, we have a timeout on the floor. So that's going to take us to the media break here for the third period. 6:44 left to go. Lane 40 and Skagit 24. We'll be back. NWAC Sports Network and STSPN.com.
I am strong.
I won't give up.
I put my heart into the game.
I learned from my mistakes.
Focus.
Determination. Confidence. I trust my gut. No limits.
Preparation.
Dedication.
Leadership.
I want to make my team and family proud.
And be an inspiration for other girls who like sports.
Join the movement.
Be sure to check out the NWAC on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That was a technical foul. I'll get back to the read here for a second, but Steve Epperson is leaving the gym, so he's been ejected from the basketball game now. So that was not a timeout. That was, in fact, an ejection. So Jacob Petz threw Steve Epperson out of the basketball game. And he was up off the bench absolutely screaming, and I can't hear what he was saying, but he was definitely screaming at somebody. So the technical free throws were both missed, and now we have 2 free throws left in the 3 that we had from the foul on Jones Smith. So Jones Smith is still standing here. Presumably she's going to be replaced. Van Ness is there at the table to check in as the second free throw for Carrillo is good.
Well, are you sure that screaming is the correct terminology that you would want to use on that? I mean, of course, this is kind of interesting because we have a coach up here and a referee up
Absolutely.
here discussing the tee, and I'm sure that you have felt the need to throw some tees once in a while, but to throw somebody out of the game in this situation, and knowing Steve, but obviously maybe there's some frustration going on there, and usually it gets taken out on the official.
Well, we'll get back to the promo for the NWAC here in a little bit, but meanwhile, we're back to live play as Lane's lead is now 41-24 and scoring inside. Nice move by Mika Van Ness. Those are her first points of the game. Lane at the other end. Three-point attempt is no good. That was Carrillo again, and the rebound is controlled by Skagit Valley. Skipworth across the timeline. Shot is blocked.
Nice.
Van Ness's shot is affected. Nice job by Hall. And now she gets it back at the other one. It's knocked out of bounds by Guffey. And last touch by Hall. Skagit Valley basketball.
Yeah, Hall with the long arms, and nice timing on that block shot. Full court pressure here by the Lane Titans. They don't want to let up and let Skagit back into this.
This certainly wouldn't be the first time in history. You look at Skagit body language now, it's changed again a little bit. They're fired up. It wouldn't be the first time that a coach getting a technical foul or even getting thrown out of a game would change the way a team's playing as Amber Lease picks up her second foul.
You remember back when you used to be able to get 3 of those?
I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't remember that.
You're a little younger, so that got changed around the mid to late 80s, I think.
Van Ness with the basketball spinning, looking for somewhere to go, gets it to Guffey, and Guffey traveled with it.
Well, bad break because, a little bit of fire being shown by Skagit, but Lane, of course, doing a good job here in keeping their composure and just staying within themselves, going ahead with the game plan, a little 2-1-2 zone now being shown by Skagit.
And a travel now at this end as Amber Lease dragged her pivot foot.
Somewhat of the raggedness of this game continues, and I would venture to guess the 10 p.m. start did have something to do with that.
That could well be. That could well be. Skipworth working, gets it into front court. Out of bounds. Almost another steal for Amber Lease, but she was on the sideline.
Needed another 4 inches court width there, and she would have had the solo layup. But nice anticipation by Amber. She's got quick feet, good court sense.
24 to shoot for Skagit Valley. It comes into Skipworth. She brings it into the front court, working against Carrillo. Megan's still on defense now. It's Pillman, and her shot short off the rim. Amber Lease back the other way. Trying to get around Nani Garner. Can't do it. Now another 3 for Carrillo, and that one's good. She's got 12.
Yeah, Carrillo definitely a streak shooter, and she not really too worried when she misses 2, 3, or 4 shots and comes back the other way and hits 2, 3, or 4 in a row. So
18-point lead is the biggest of the game. 3-pointer for Gardner, no good off the front of the rim, but Lease couldn't handle the rebound, and Pillman can't make the layup. And a whistle, and what have we?
A foul underneath as a Carrier got the rebound.
And that's going to take us to the break. I think the foul goes on Carrier, and that is indeed the case. So we're going to go to timeout. 4:36 left to go. Lane 44, Skagit Valley 26. You're watching the 2018 NWAC Championship Tournament on STSPN.com and the NWAC Sports Network. The NWAC Championship Tournament on STSPN.com and the NWAC Sports Network is brought to you by Everett Community College. EVCC Trivia Time. Why do 19,000 students choose Everett Community College every year? Answer, we have fun. With sports, live music, and more, you'll never want to leave. Register now for spring classes at everettcc.edu. Long two-point jumper for Mika Van Ness goes in. She has 4 points now, and they cut the Lane lead to 16.
Yeah, Mika out of Cedar Crest, playing down in the Cascade League when she was in high school there. Skagit drops back into that 2-1-2 zone.
Certainly still plenty of time. 4 minutes and change left here in the third quarter. 16-point lead for Skagit Valley to overcome, and a foul's going to go, I think, against Brooke Guffey. Would be her second.
And the referees have, looks like they've tightened up a little bit on the calls as some of the players, reaching in, doing a little grabbing and hacking, and they're starting to call that now, or maybe some of that stuff that doesn't affect the play they would let go early, but don't want the game to get out of hand, obviously.
Skagit Valley over the limit now. Free throws for every team foul the rest of the third period. That's true in both directions, and Taylor Carrillo knocks down a pair of free throws. 46-28, an 18-point advantage for the Lane Titans. Skipworth into the front court. Van Ness, the Cedar Crest graduate, now it's back to Skipworth. Spins, pulls up, now going to try and drive again. Kicks it back for Emily Pillman. She'll try it from the elbow, rattles out. Kamiak grad can't get it to go. Back the other way comes Amber Lease. Near side, Carrillo will try the three, and this one's good, and she leads everybody with 15.
She goes right to that X on foul line, extended three-point line, and Amber Lease will give her the ball if she's open there every single time.
49-28, 21-point lead is the biggest of the game for the Titans. Pillman up fake, tries to drive in, gets a double team and throws it away, taken by Carrillo. Pushing it ahead on her own. Defended there by Hogan, and a foul, and it's going to be a blocking foul on Mary Hogan, I believe.
Carrillo that time with a drive to the hoop as opposed to the pull-up three, doing a good job of drawing that foul. And what do we got here?
The officials have sent the players to their benches, and we're going to have a brief discussion. Okay. And I'm honestly not sure what they're talking about. But I think they're going to go.
Pizza.
I think they're going to go to the monitor and take a look at something on that last play as to whether there may have been something more than a common foul. Honestly, from our vantage point, Mike, there are a couple players in the way. I saw that there was a collision. More than that, I honestly could not tell you. So,
looked like a blocking foul to me.
Jacob Petz, Brittany Lassiter were going over, taking a look. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the period. And the biggest lead of the game so far for the Lane Titans at 21. As it looked for a brief moment there like Skagit Valley was going to muster a bit of a run, but the wind came out of the sails a little bit, and Lane looks to run away with this if they continue.
Well, I think the Cardinals got off to a good start and had a little bit of hope when Adia Jones-Smith was in the ball game. She seems to be one of the players that sort of makes it work for them because they can rely on her to make some plays, but in this case, she got into foul trouble, and when she fouled out there, you could just see the body language where they were thinking that maybe that was their last hope, and fired up a little bit, but down 21, it's going to be a significant hole to try to climb out of here at this point.
So it looks like just a regular blocking foul called on Mary Hogan. It's her first. Whatever they were curious about, they didn't find it. And so a pair of free throws for that foul belong to Taylor Carrillo. First one's no good. Rachel Fielder's been out of the ball game for a while. She checks back in now. Hall has a seat, as does Still. And also returning is Sierra Carrier.
Good trio of players that play underneath with Carrier and Hall and Fielder. All three of them have different abilities, but they're physical and talented inside.
Skipworth picked up that rebound and then Amber Lease picked up her third foul, so it's going to be bonus free throws for Skagit Valley at the other end now. Skipworth has 4 points in the game. Hit a pair of free throws back in the first quarter. First one's on the way and good.
Third quarter seems to have lasted quite some time. 3:03 on the game clock, but chronologically it seems like it's been going on for about a half an hour here.
Skipworth got both free throws. Megan Still's rest for Lane lasted all of about 10 seconds. She came back in between the free throws, and now she has the basketball. Driving to her left, takes it all the way under and gives it to Carrillo. Kaylee Carrillo, she'll try the three off balance, no good. Rebound pulled down by Fielder, and she lays it in. She's got 9 on the evening.
I was going to say, finally a defender made Carrillo put the ball on the floor and get her a little bit off balance, but then the Cardinals get up that offensive rebound.
That's been key in both of the games we've had tonight, as Pillman can't get the turnaround to go from 2 feet. And back come Lane the other way. Nice job by Guffey to deny the pass underneath. Fielder was open, and now she gets it. Up and in, and Guffey commits the foul. It's going to be the third on the Anacortes graduate. And a free throw coming.
Too much strength inside for the Lane Titans, as Rachel Fielder, the 6'1" sophomore, holds her position very well. A lot of players would continue to go underneath the basket. Instead, she held her position out on the 2 block until the pass was made to make sure she had enough space to go ahead and make that layup and get the and one here.
And Guffey swinging a little wildly there without, I thought, much chance of actually blocking the shot. And now we have a held ball, and it's going to belong to Lane.
Yeah, Carrier's holding her face there, as maybe there was a little bit of a head-to-head collision or something, and discussion going on here.
And again, we're going to send the players to the benches and take a look. So the option for the officials to go and look for a potentially unobserved unsportsmanlike foul. And they are going to do exactly that. And while they do, we'll take a chance to tell you that NWAC Championship Basketball on STSPN.com and the NWAC Sports Network is brought to you by the Jet City Roller Girls. Jet City Roller Derby brings the sport of roller derby to Snohomish County. Tickets for Jet City's 11th season are now available with doubleheader bouts at Edmonds Community College, featuring a family-friendly environment and a beer garden. Find a skater handing out flyers to receive a discount off entry to the next bout. And we thank them and all of our sponsors for their support of the NWAC Championship Basketball Tournament broadcasts here on the NWAC Sports Network, STSPN.com. Todd Elvig, been building this outfit here in Snohomish County for coming up on 10 years now pretty soon, and just seems like the setup gets a little bit cooler every year. We're fortunate to have some neat tech to work with, replay available in some of their games, and status lights and all sorts of fun stuff. So always a privilege to get to come and work with Todd here.
I'm sure he did his setup last night. I followed him in this morning. That was about 5 minutes to 7 as this red flash went flying by me down the road, and he has been here the whole entire day, whereas I did 2 games and went home and got to walk the dogs and take a little snooze and come back for the 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock game. I'm sure he's happy to hear about that.
See, I woke up listening to your first game, went to my day job for 8.5 hours, and then came back out here. So
how was that? Was that a pleasing wake up? You had your radio set to wake to radio basketball. Is that the way that worked?
No comment.
Okay.
I did at least wait until I'd gotten out of the place where others in my family were still asleep. But had it on the drive in. And
not quite the same as waking up to Eurythmics' Sweet Dreams Are Made of This.
I usually wake up to a plain old buzzer.
Oh, I just can't do that anymore.
So our officiating crew, Jacob Petz, Brittany Lassiter-Burgoyne, and Lee Mullen talking this one over. Petz is the crew chief for this one, and he will call the coaches over. So I presume from that we're going to have a call made here. And we'll tell you as soon as we know what's going on. And as we take a look tomorrow, 2 o'clock the first game time tomorrow. That'll be Columbia Basin and Umpqua. Lower Columbia at 4 p.m. will take on the Bellevue Bulldogs, the 1 seed out of the northern region. And then Everett and Big Bend out of Moses Lake, they'll play at 6. That's game number 11 in your bracket. And Walla Walla will face the winner of this one, and that looks to be the Lane Titans, that they have a 23-point lead with 12 and change left in the ball game. And we are going to have an unsportsmanlike foul called.
After the 10-minute delay.
And it looks like it goes against Van Ness. So we didn't see what happened, but it results in 2 free throws for Sarah Hall. First one is good. She's got 12 on the night. Extends the lead to 24, make it 25.
So, point of inquiry here, does it go against a player who was fouled, or can anybody shoot that?
The new rule this year is that they've made it. It used to be that the answer to that depended on whether the foul was live ball or dead ball. Live ball, it had to be the player who was fouled. Dead ball, it was technical, and so it could be anybody. The rule change this year on sportsmanlike foul, doesn't matter, live ball, dead ball. It's 2 free throws for anybody on the team, and it's the ball at the division line, which we saw just here. So back to live play now. Carrillo with the ball. Fed it inside for Hall, and she handed it back. Skips over to the near side. Megan Still drives into the lane, throws it off the window, no good, and the rebound is pulled down by Van Ness. And she'll go to the line now as this third quarter continues to drag on. 1:54 left in the period.
The reason I asked that was because it looked like the recipient of whatever had happened out there, it looked like it was Sierra Carrier. She was the one who maybe got hit up, looked around the nose area.
No, you're absolutely right, and in fact, she left the game. No, I'm sorry, she's still in the game, but Hall, who shot the free throws, was not in the game at the time. The rule allows a head coach to select any member of the team, including someone who's not in the game, to come in and shoot those free throws.
And that's the same with the technical. You can go down to your
Correct.
bench and get your shooter into the game.
Correct. Van Ness gets her free throw, second free throw. 55-31 the score, 25 the lead. Three-pointer on the way, and that one rattles home for Taylor Carrillo. 18 points for her, 6 3-pointers on, let's see if I can get the number of attempts, because it's got to be about 15.
Steps to her left that time, but was able to gather herself. She missed one earlier off the dribble. Mostly she's been shooting stationary, as Carrier does a nice job knocking that entry pass to the post out of bounds. Out of bounds
17
play for the
to
Cardinals.
shoot for Skagit. We take a look here. And that's Pillman putting it up and in. No window, no rim, nothing but net from a couple feet away.
And that was Lane falling asleep on the out-of-bounds play there, as I think these dead ball situations have maybe taken energy out of the game, with the exception of the three-point shooter right there.
Taylor Carrillo, that is her 7th three-pointer on 17 attempts. That was pretty close. It was 6 for 16 before. So she's got 21 to lead everybody. And the lead is all the way out to 28 as we tick under a minute to go here in the third period. Van Ness with the basketball. Skipworth now gets a screen from Pillman. And out of bounds, belongs to Skagit with 6 on the timer. 42.5 in the period.
And again, no pass fake, just looking at the player you're trying to pass it to and having it rejected out of bounds for the Cardinals. You have to make some sort of pass fake at this level. Players are just too quick and anticipate those passing lanes.
Comes into Van Ness, dribbles in about a 15-footer, knocks it down. She's got 6, make it 7. And about a 5-second difference now, 6-second difference between the shot clock and the period. Driving to the rack, putting it off the window, and good is Sarah Hall. And she'll get a free throw for her trouble as well. So we'll see who the foul's on.
I think it was number 21, Katie, is it Pyland?
Pyland is correct. She came up here at halftime. It's her 2nd. And to the line for one goes Sarah Hall. Missed it, and the rebound pulled in by Pillman in Skagit Valley. Shot clock is off. They bring it into the front court. This is Kai Charlie. Hands it for Skipworth. Has Van Ness to her left. Dribbles in toward the free throw line, then gives it. Near corner. Down underneath, this is Pyland. Her shot is affected, and the rebound's pulled in by Hall. Back the other way with 2 seconds and 1, and that's going to be the end of the third period. So we've played 30 minutes here at Everett Community College in the final game of the first day of the 2018 championships, and the Lane Titans have a big lead by 28 over the Skagit Valley Cardinals. We'll be back. NWAC Sports Network at STSPN.com. Welcome back to Everett Community College, who is pleased to be a sponsor of this championship broadcast on STSPN.com and the NWAC Sports Network. And it's EVCC trivia time again. Where can you live just steps from Everett Community College classes and have one payment that covers rent, utilities, and furniture? It's the EVCC Student Housing, of course. Check out our student apartments at everettcc.edu/housing. Also brought to you by the Spokane Teachers Credit Union. STCU congratulates the athletes, coaches, and fans enjoying today's matches. As a financial cooperative founded by teachers, STCU salutes the efforts on the court and in the classroom. Students, workers, and residents in Washington are invited to join this not-for-profit credit union. STCU, your money at work. As we start the fourth quarter here, another three-point attempt from Carrillo. That one rims out, but the rebound pulled in by Lease. And now it goes far side. Jones dumps it in. Nicely done. Carrier was open, and she's on the scoreboard with her first 2 of the game. The lead is 30.
Skagit just doing some over-committing there and losing position on the inside. Allow Carrier just to go right to the block, catch an open pass, and lay it in. Too easy for Lane.
Katie Skipworth double-teamed. It's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Emma Jones, and it belongs to Skagit Valley. 11 on the shot clock. Morgan Newton comes into the ball game for Lane, her first appearance, and Jones sits down.
Brooke Guffey back in for Skagit Valley.
Gardner gets it into Skipworth. Katie Skipworth, freshman guard from Lebanon High School in Oregon. Spins, blocked off by Lease, and the shot clock expires. A little bit of unawareness there after it was knocked out of bounds. Got to know what's on the shot clock, and Skagit turns it over.
Yeah, and there needs to be some bench responsibility there, helping the players out.
18th turnover of the ball game for the Cardinals. At the other end, Lease thought about the NBA distance 3. Instead, Kai Charlie comes up with a steal, and back comes Skagit. Right to left on your screen. Brooke Guffey runs across the free throw line, gives for Garner for 3, off the rim, no good. And the rebound's controlled by Carrillo. Throws it ahead looking for Newton, who just came into the game, and instead it's knocked out of bounds by Garner. And it's going to stay with Lane.
Now that's a tough play to make on the transition, and that's why you have your wings run wide. They have a better angle of passing the ball down under the basket. Even the player who has to turn all the way around to make that's a tough catch and finish there. Go to the wing with it first and have the wing with the good angle make that pass down to the block.
That one is blocked. Brooke Guffey with the rejection, but then she picks up the foul, and it's going to send Carrier, I think, to the free throw line.
Yeah, if they're in the bonus, good battle down there. Got the block.
It's going to be an end line throw, and it looks like 4th foul on Guffey. Jones Smith comes back in.
Carrier staying with it after the block, battling down there. Good defense by Skagit to stop that inbounds play, running a curl off of a double screen. And
instead it comes all the way out to Lease, who still has it, watched by Skipworth. Now they get it into Fielder. and that's going to be the 5th foul on Brooke Guffey. So her season's going to come to an end. The sophomore guard.
Yeah, a little bit of a late whistle, but Guffey disagrees with the call. I'll tell you what, Fielder, she does a good job down inside there. And when I watched Umpqua later and called that game, Umpqua has some tall, physical players down inside, and I can see why Lane gave him some trouble because they're not as tall, but they do have the size and strength to battle down inside. So decent matchup for Lane against Umpqua.
Free throw is up and good. 67-35 is the score. 13 points now for Fielder as she got both of those.
Man-to-man defense still for Lane.
Near side three's on the way for Van Ness. No good. Rebound taken by Newton.
And Jones back in, playing with the 4 fouls, had a block on that and then turned it over on the outlet pass.
And now a near side three on the away by Kadisha Smith, excuse me. No good, and the rebound belongs to Garner. Throws it underneath for Jones Smith. Tries to scoop it on the glass and scores. That's an athletic play.
That was, she's a right-handed player, but underneath the basket and reached back in on the near side with her left hand and kissed it off the glass.
Knocked out of bounds. It belongs to Lane. 7.5 left now in period number 4. 30-point lead for the Titans. As it looks like Greg Shealy's team is going to go on to face the Walla Walla Warriors tomorrow in what should be a really entertaining game at 8 p.m. here tomorrow night. That one's taken away by Jones Smith. Pushes it ahead for Garner. Nani Garner into the lane. Hesitates, can't get the roll. And the rebound belongs to Kadisha Smith. Smith, the freshman combo guard, Churchill High School in Eugene.
Lane just staying with their game plan, looking outside in, have their three-point threat, and keep pounding the ball inside, get another whistle, and Carrier's going to go to the line.
And Jones Smith swinging at Carrier from behind a little bit there, and that's going to be her 5th foul and the end of her sophomore season. So a nice run for her at Skagit Valley. It's going to come to an end here with 6:55 left in the 4th quarter of a first-round ball game. Carrier will go to the free throw line. She's got a couple of points so far. Make it 3.
Very methodical win for Lane. They didn't seem to come out and do anything what you would call spectacular, but just made the plays and consistently kept making them.
I would call it steady.
Yeah,
they withstood a couple of energetic bursts from Skagit Valley. They continued to do what they set out to do and just kind of wore the Cardinals down a little bit, induced some frustration at the end of the second period. And between the end of the second and the start of the third, really put on a run that put this out of reach. As a hard foul now is going to send Kadisha Smith to the line. Hogan is the guilty party.
And I wouldn't say the Titans were great at any one thing, but they're pretty good at a lot of things. They get a lot of offensive rebounds. They run the floor pretty well. They have some outside shooting threats. They have a strong inside presence. Steady is a good word for it. Very.
If you got to pick out one thing as I take a look at the stat sheet here that's really powered them, total rebounds, 44 for Lane, 25 for Skagit. That's a big differential.
And I don't know if you have the breakdown on the offensive boards, but they had several stretches when they needed it where they ended up with 2, 3, sometimes 4 possessions.
15 offensive rebounds for the Titans.
And that just wears you down over the course of 40 minutes.
Skipworth controls the basketball. Nani Gardner has it on the far side wing. Knocked away from Pillman, and it belongs to Skagit Valley. 15 on the shot clock now.
Pillman just not able to hold off that defender who's on the high side, allowed the defender to curl back around the high side, and now forces Skagit to run an out-of-bounds play here.
Gets it into Pillman. Turns around from about 7 feet, strong off the heel of the rim. A little bit of short arm, it looked like.
Yeah, fades away on the shot. She doesn't seem to be totally comfortable down on the low block with physical contact down there.
Smith with the ball, and it finds its way into Carrier, who lays it off the window and in. 6 points for Sierra Carrier. A lot of local products here for Lane, who are located in Eugene. And boy, I look down the list here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different players hailing from Eugene. So good local recruiting for Greg Shealy, and they're really making it work. As down at the other end, Mary Hogan is on the scoreboard. Anchorage, Alaska product.
That speaks well of their high school programs down in the Eugene area as well, giving you an opportunity to get some of the better players out of your local high schools.
Now we talk about pipelines. Steve Epperson at Skagit Valley seems to have a pipeline into Alaska, as he's got 3 Alaskan players on his roster this year, and it's been that way for a while, where he's done a very good job recruiting up in that very cold state and bringing some talent down here to play in Snohomish County, in Skagit County. Kelly O'Malley, as the shot clock ticks under 10, dribbling to her left, gives it to Briggs. Free throw line jumper, nothing but net. Megan Briggs has 2.
And Megan Briggs out of Redding, California comes in, and nice looking 15-footer there.
Past the halfway mark in the 4th period now, as Skipworth slipped her pivot foot and traveled, and now we have a timeout on the floor. So 4:51 left in the 4th period. Lane 74, Skagit Valley 39. You're watching the NWAC Basketball Championships on the NWAC Sports Network at STSPN.com.
As certified jumpers, divers, and survival experts, Special Forces are dropped behind enemy lines to train foreign fighters, carry out covert missions, or prevent future conflicts. These soldiers live for the challenge, highly trained and highly intelligent. Special Forces soldiers are the best of the best.
The 2018 NWAC Basketball Championships on STSPN and the NWAC Sports Network are brought to you by Clark College in Vancouver, Washington, who is enrolling for their winter quarter. Whether you want to advance your career, complete a degree, or earn your high school diploma, Clark College can help you reach your goals. Visit clark.edu to learn more. And a whistle and a traveling violation. Kadisha Smith turns the ball over. Skagit Valley will take it back now. Katie Skipworth, the freshman guard from Lebanon, Oregon, gives it to Hogan, who lost the handle in a whistle. And we have a foul against Skagit Valley now. And it's going to be free throws for Newton.
I was trying to remember back and think about what the mascot was for Clark, and for some reason, I want to say the Penguins, but I don't.
That sounds vaguely familiar. Let's see if I can take a look here. First free throw is on the way and good for Morgan Newton, another Oregon native, Myrtle Point High School. Clark College Penguins, you got it. Nicely done.
Well, I should know that because I played against them, but I just haven't thought about that, obviously, for years. So
I've probably refereed them at some point in a crossover tournament or something, but I can't say that the occasion jumps out at me. Second free throw also good for Newton. As for Skagit Valley, this is Van Ness. Far corner for Pyland. Katie Pyland about the window, got it to go. She's on the scoreboard.
With the left hand.
Now pushing it ahead is Belle Lewis. Into the lane, lost the handle a little bit, and it's going to be tied up. Alternating possession belongs to the Skagit Valley Cardinals.
And that's one of those plays where you're trying to get the ball to your teammate, but you dribble down into traffic off the move and throw the bounce pass off the ankles, and you're maybe better pulling up around that 13, 14-foot area and looking for the shot yourself. There's a nice steal.
Taken away by Lewis. She takes it in all alone and lays it up and off the glass. She scores. Capital High School graduate in Boise, around the corner from where I went to school. And now Kai Charlie gives it off for Alexis Shipman, who just came into the game. Freshman just getting about 5 minutes a game from Diamond High School in Anchorage. And a Skagit Valley turnover will give it back to the Lane Titans. 78-41 the score. 37-point advantage for the players from Eugene. Lewis hands off for Kadisha Smith. Now it comes back out for Newton and into the corner again for Lewis. Drives in between two, and a blocking foul is going to be called, so Belle Lewis will go to the free throw line.
Belle Lewis has some quick feet out there as she put her head down, split the defense, and
Shipman is guilty of the blocking foul.
Earns a trip. So does the name Dale Chatterley ring a bell there from Boise? Longtime legendary coach from the Boise area there.
I know the name. I can't say I remember which school he was at, but I certainly recognize the name.
So my age is showing, and so's yours. So it was probably before your time, but met him over at the Washington State University basketball camp, and he was one of those older, sagely guys that you would pick his brain about basketball stuff all the time.
Belle Chatterley 1 for 2 on those free throws, and now it's Charlie for Skagit Valley trying to get it inside to Pyland. Turns and moves, a whistle and a foul. Megan Briggs thought she'd blocked it clean. It might not be her foul. We shall see. The foul goes on Morgan Newton. It's her first. Skagit Valley's bench up and cheering for Pyland, earning a trip to the line. Got the first one.
Well, trying to make the best of the last 3 minutes, at least on the clock of their season here.
Hey, listen, you start with a record of 5-10, as I look at the numbers here, and you turn it around, go 8-4 in league, and make the playoffs. You got to be happy with the result in the end. But it's going to be the first losing season in 41 years of head coaching at Skagit Valley for Steve Epperson. A remarkable 40 consecutive winning seasons to start a coaching career. You're not going to hear of something like that very often.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. And the seasons, it's a grind.
Absolutely.
You start October 15th, and here we are getting close to March 15th. That's a long time.
Meanwhile, by the way, another streak that's been kept alive with playoff appearances last year and this year, when maybe it looked for a while like that might be possible. Epperson's teams have made the postseason, the NWAC tournament or the playoffs, whatever format it was, every season since 1987, the last time they didn't make the postseason. Another absolutely remarkable run over 30 years here of consecutive playoff appearances for the Skagit Valley Cardinals under Steve Epperson, who will seek his 900th win next year. As going to the line now will be Belle Lewis again. As the foul's going to be charged to Pyland, I think.
Did you say 87 he didn't make it?
1987 he didn't make it.
But they won it in 88.
There you go.
So that's a good bounce back.
And they've made the postseason every year since then. It's 30-year streak. So, and not to leave Greg Sheely out of this either, because they have now made the postseason 17 consecutive times. So a couple of stalwart coaches and very successful programs on the floor here tonight as we wrap up the first round of the 2018 Women's Championships. We'll be back tomorrow in the same place here on YouTube, NWAC Sports Network, and through STSPN.com for the women's round of 8. First game tips off at 2 p.m. as laying that one in is Megan Briggs. She's got 4. First game at 2 will feature Columbia Basin taking a crack at the vaunted one-loss Umpqua Riverhawks. That one loss, of course, coming to these Lane Titans. So you think about potential matchups, and you think about Umpqua Walla Walla, or you think about Umpqua Lane, or you think about Columbia Basin maybe pulling a stunner and playing one of those two teams. Certainly some exciting things, coming up tomorrow and then on the 17th for the semifinals.
It is, and I can say from experience, it's not necessarily good to look too far ahead. Fortunately, I was able to get to a state championship game when everybody was looking at the number 1 and 2 team in the state to play there, and we upset River Ridge and got to the state championship. And
nice offensive rebound there by Shipman, and it helps Sobrano Foster earn a trip to the line. Lanai City, Hawaii graduate.
Broke up a lot of brackets, I did. Or I should say we did.
Good old bracket busters. First free throws for Sobrano Foster, a little too strong. 44.1 left in the ball game. 83-43, a 40-point advantage rather for the Lane Titans. Second free throw no good, and Kadisha Smith controls it.
Alexa Shipman has checked into the game, and from Diamond, Alaska for Skagit. She's coming off an ACL injury.
And she had the offensive rebound there to help her teammate get to the line. Long three-pointer from Morgan Newton, no good. And the shot clock is off. The last possession likely here in the game. Skagit will look for one more chance to get this below 40. But a valiant effort to make the postseason, and they took a shot in the first 18 or so minutes. They looked like they were going to stick around, and they just couldn't keep it going. But a good effort and a nice season from Skagit Valley. Turnaround layup no good for Mary Hogan. And that's going to do it. Time runs out, so the score is now final. Lane 83 and Skagit Valley 43. Mike, last thoughts on this one?
Well, I was impressed as we came up with the description of being steady. Impressed with Lane. As you said, Skagit was going to hang around for a while, but just unable to maintain that, and the gradual pull away, and the next thing you know, you've lost by 40. So good season. They got to the playoffs, but Lane's a team that's going to advance, and I get to do the Lane Walla Walla game tomorrow, and that's going to be a battle.
That should be an absolute thriller. That's going to be the late game tomorrow at 8 o'clock right here on the NWAC Sports Network and STSPN.com. The 2018 NWAC Basketball Championships are brought to you by Everett Community College, Pierce College, Clark College, by the Northwest Athletic Conference, STCU, the Washington National Guard, and Jet City Roller Girls. We thank all of them for your support. And now, for Mike Buchholz and producer-engineer Todd Elvig, I'm Nathan Murphy saying good night from Everett Community College, where Lane prevails over Skagit Valley 83-43. Good night, everybody.